Hello everyone, welcome you all to the lecture series on power plant engineering. In this first video, we are going to see the introduction about power plant engineering and then layout of steam power plant. Electrical energy plays a very crucial role in the industrial and all around development of any country. You know that in day-to-day life, we are depending on the electrical energy importantly. The electrical energy holds such a position because of its many advantages, like it can be generated bulkily, there is bulk generation, and it can be transported from one place to another place very easily, and it can be efficiently used by for domestic as well as in industries. And the electrical energy is obtained conventionally by conversion from fossil fuels like coal, oil, natural gas, or from nuclear and hydro sources. What is meant by power plant? The place where the electrical energy is produced is called as power plant. A power plant can be compared to the well-known example of cycle dynamo. When the dynamo rotates along the cycle wheel, the alternator produces the electrical power. Similarly, in power plant, when the turbine starts to rotates, the generator produces the electrical power. That is, the mechanical energy of the turbine is converted into electrical power by the generator. Then what are the classifications of the power plant? The power plants are classified based upon how the turbine rotates. A turbine will have several blades. The turbine starts rotating when something impinges or hits the turbine blades. If the turbine blades rotates by means of the steam hitting the blades, then the power plant is classified as thermal power plant. Similarly, when water hits the turbine blades, then the power plant is known as the hydro power plant. When it is by means of wind energy, then it is called as wind power plant. When it is by means of sea waves, then it is called as tidal power plant. Further, the power plants, that is the thermal power plant, can be classified into steam power plant, diesel power plant, gas turbine power plant, nuclear power plant. It is based in this classification is based on the primary power source used to produce the thermal energy, that is heat energy, which converts the water into the steam. This is the basic introduction about the power plant. Now we are going to see the steam power plant, that is the layout of the steam power plant. The steam power plant runs basically on the Rankine cycle. In the screen you are seeing the ideal Rankine cycle, which is the power cycle of the steam power plant. Now take the process 1 to 2. In the process 1 to 2, the pump pumps the feed water into the boiler. In the boiler, we are giving a heat input. The boiler converts the feed water into the steam. The outlet of the boiler will be the steam. From the process 3 to 4, the steam hits the or impinges the turbine blades, because of which the turbine blades starts to rotate. That mechanical energy is converted into the electrical energy by the generator, which is coupled with the turbine blades. Then again the exhaust steam is go to the condenser. In condenser, some heat is taken out by the condenser, and the exhaust stream is converted into water. That same water is pumped through the boiler. This is the cycle by which the steam power plant runs. Okay. This is the very general layout of the steam power plant. We will see each and every component and how this layout or how this flow circuits work in the further slides. So these are all the flow circuits, that is coal and ash circuit, air and flue gas circuit, feed water and steam circuit, cooling water circuits. If you directly draw this layout diagram, it will be a difficult job for you to remember and reproduce this drawing. But if you see these flow circuits, if you see this flow circuits one by one and draw the circuit, it will be very easy to memorize and reproduce the steam power plant circuit, right? So first thing, we are going to take coal and ash circuit. So for a boiler, whatever the boiler is, there should be three inputs to the boiler. First thing is heat input. For that heat input you have to supply the coal, right? So that the coal will burn with the help of air. So you have to supply the air. So first thing you have to supply the coal, second thing you have to supply the air, and the third thing you have to supply the feed water, that is water which is going to convert into the steam. That feed water has to be supplied into the boiler. In terms of output, the boiler will give the coal as the ash, the air as the flue gas, the water as the steam. These all are the inputs and outputs of the boiler, based on which those four circuits are developed. First thing, the coal has to be given into the boiler and it will converted into ash. Second thing, the air has to be given as input to the boiler and the air will converted into flue gas. Third thing, the feed water will converted into steam, right? So first thing we are going to see the coal and ash circuit. So initially, to the power station, that is the power plant, the coal will be supplied by means of railway tracks and trucks and ships, like that. The coal will be unloaded into the power plant from the coal mining station, right? Second thing, the coal has to be prepared. The boiler may use different types of coals, that it may be a lignite coal or it may be a municipal waste, whatever it is, the coal has to be prepared to the required size. Whatever it is, the coal has to be prepared by means of some techniques. That coal has to be again stored in the power station. That is, any power station will have a coal storage of 30 days for 30 days backup. It will have a coal. By means of that stored coal itself, the power plant will be able to run about 30 days without any supply, without any external supply, right? From the coal storage, the coal has to be feeded into the boiler by one mechanism, that is coal feeder mechanism. This is the coal circuit. Once the coal is supplied into the boiler and along with the air and heat, then the coal will be burnt inside the boiler. The heat will coming out of the burnt fuel and then the coal will be converted into ash. That ash will be very harmful with some other residual gases, right? That ash has to be separated. There are several ash separating techniques like hydraulic system, that is pouring the ash in the running water, like that. Hydraulic system, electrostatic precipitating system, mechanical system. So there are plenty of techniques available to separate the ash, which we will see in the further units, right? Then the separated ash has to be stored in a separate place. It must not be harm the environment, so that it should be stored in a separate place, that is ash storage unit. Now the coal is unloaded, prepared and stored and feeded into the boiler, that is burnt and converted into ash. The ash separator separates the ash and a separate ash storage will store the ash, right? The next circuit is air circuit, air and flue gas circuit. You just observe this circuit. This circuit will be coal and ash circuit, and the remaining all those things are air and flue gas circuit. So first thing, the preheated air is supplied into the boiler. That preheated air, that atmospheric air is pumped, that atmospheric air is forced into the air preheated by means of a FD fan, that is forced draft fan. This FD fan force the atmospheric air into the air preheater. This air preheater gives some amount of heat to the atmospheric air, and this preheated air will supplied into the boiler. This is the feed air circuit. Now this air is converted into the, after burning the coal, this air is converted into the flue gas. That flue gas will be at somewhat higher temperature. Then that flue gas is supplied into the superheater. This superheater extracts some heat from the flue gas and will be used for further circuit, which we will discuss in a minute. And this flue gas coming out from the superheater still have some heat with that. that heat will be extracted in the economizer. That heat also will be used for the same circuit which we will discuss later. That flue gas again it is passed into the air preheater. The final where the little amount of heat remaining in the flue gas is extracted and it is used for the preheating of the atmospheric air, that is feed air, and that flue gas is sent to the dust collector where the dust and ash components of the flue gases are collected in the dust gases. That flue gases is sent to the chimney through induced draft fan. This chimney will exhaust the flue gas into the atmosphere, right? This is the basic air and flue gas circuit. I am repeating again the same. The atmospheric air is sent to the air preheater by the FD fan, where the atmospheric air gets heated by the heat extracted from the flue gas, and it is fed into the boiler. That input air is converted into flue gas. That flue gas has enormous amount of heat with that. Enormous amount of heat is extracted in the superheated, and another part of heat is extracted in the economizer, and another part of heat is extracted in the air preheater. Now we will go to the next circuit, that is feed water and steam circuit. So again, here there are feed water and steam circuit. First, the water is preheated by the economizer. From the feed water pump, the water is pumped to the economizer. As you know, from the flue gas, some heat is extracted by the economizer, and that heat is given to the water to preheat. That preheated water is sent to the boiler. Now the boiler converts the preheated water into the steam. That steam is passed again through the superheater. The superheater heats the steam and converted the steam into superheated steam. That superheated steam is again sent to the turbine. Because of this superheated steam expansion, the turbine blades starts to rotate. By means the generator generates the power and it gives the power to the transmission line. Then the exhaust steam, that is expanded steam, is given into the condenser, where the condenser condenses the steam into water. Because the feed water pump will not pump the steam, it will pump only the water. That is why we are converting the exhaust steam into water. This water will be again fed into the economizer by the feed water pump. Economizer preheats the feed water, and that preheated water is again sent to the boiler. This is the steam and feed water circuit. And the final thing is, here we are using a condenser, right? The purpose of this condenser is to convert this exhaust steam into water. That is, it has to extract some heat from this steam in order to convert it into the water. So this is the feed water. This is the cooling water circuit. This cooling water circuit is nothing but the heat extracted by the condenser has to be extracted to the atmosphere. That is, from the pump, cold water is supplied into the condenser. That cold water gets the heat extracted by the condenser from the steam, and then that cold water converted into hot water. That hot water is given to the cooling tower, where the water is flowing through like this, and by means of which it will release the heat to the atmosphere. Then it is again converted into cold water. Again this circuit works. These are all the four main circuits of the steam power plant, right? Then now, what are the merits of the steam power plant? The first thing is, the unit capacity of the power plant is more. The cost of unit decreases with the increase in unit capacity. Second thing, the life of the plant. Usually the life of the power plant, that is steam power plant will be around 25 to 30 years, whereas it is compared to the diesel power plant which has 2 to 5 years of the life. And the repair and maintenance cost is very low compared to the diesel power plant. Then the initial cost of the plant is less than compared to the nuclear power plant. When it is compared to the diesel power plant, the initial cost will be very high, but compared to the nuclear power plant, the initial cost will be very less. Right? Then the demerits. Thermal power plants are less efficient than the diesel power plant, where a thermal power plant, a new thermal power plant will have the efficiency of 25 to 35 only. If it is run for more than 10 to 15 years, then the power plant efficiency will come down to 18, 15, 20% only. Then the starting of the power plant, that is, once the power plant is shut down, then the starting of the power plant will take 2 to 3 days of time, which is an enormous time, right? The cooling water required, the water required for a power plant is very high, and the space also required for a steam power plant is very high. These are all the very few demerits of the steam power plant. Thank you all. In the next video we will see the layout of idle power plant.